Welcome one and all to the final of the Blood Bowl 2021 Spooky Skull Cup, a day many here have been waiting for, in particular the LEAI, who can finally be executed for the crimes against managers everywhere. Sleep tight, you devilish bastards. Once again, I am your host, Mick Brickenett, fresh back from therapy, and joining me as always, a man who seems to have struggled with a half Windsor knot this morning, Keith Widow.
Well, thank you, Mick. You saved me from some real embarrassment there, I must say.
Well, Keith, we've got a hell of a game today, and we've got to have our favorite pitch-side reporter looking his best, don't we?
I suppose you're right, Mick. I will say this morning has been filled with confusion so far. I usually report from the other end of the pitch. Some of you may have noticed we've changed around a little bit. Today it seems fate just had some different plans in mind.
Well, Keith, I don't know what kind of vengeful deity would cause such a fuss, but one thing is for sure, they need a haircut. With such a big game on our hands, the crowd must be insane out there, Keith. How's it looking?
There's fuck all people here, Mick. Not a Noblar in sight. What little members of the crowd there were have all been drafted into the Batards after mistaking the reserves box for front row seating. And as it clearly states in Nuffle's ancient texts, they are now contractually obliged to play for the team.
I don't recall that rule, Keith. I'll just have a quick look now. Yep, that checks out.
Yes, Mix, the Snotlings came out in full force with a whole extra team playing for them this game. So far, it seems to have held the Vampires off from a very dominating first half.
Quite right, Keith. Although it seems the teams are doing more damage to themselves than each other. The fungus flinger himself, Gusset Eiffel, being one of the largest offenders when he threw what he thought to be a safe bomb that ended up knocking out Troll number 1 Linoleum Bonerfart and damn near killed Victor Pugo, the fun hopper and Gusset's best friend from childhood.
Well, I will say that it's really going to affect their relationship after this game for sure. I guess you could say Gusset's throw wasn't exactly the bomb.
That's a good one, Keith. I like that. So it seems the Vampires seized this opportunity to get Big Phil near the end zone and attempt to run down the clock. However, it seems a Snotling was able to slip through and accidentally headbutt him in the crotch, pushing him into the end zone. And I believe we have a live reaction from the Vampires coach right now.
Woo! Woohoo! Woo, woo, woo!
But it seems that right there may have been a premature celebration, as the Snotlings managed to sneak now famous music producer David Sweater behind enemy lines to even the score to 1-1. And I actually believe we have a live reaction of the same Vampires manager for you now.
And that'll do us for the half. Now, Keith, after speaking to my therapist, one of the things that they recommended highly for me was to release some control from my life. So, it is with a not-so-heavy heart that I am allowing you, Keith, without obstruction, to send us into the ad break. Go get him, champ.
Well, I have to say that is a massive honor. I know in the past I have sort of filled the gap here and there, but honestly, Mick, it never felt right without your blessing. So, without further ado, thank you everyone for watching the first half of the post-match report. Don't go anywhere, as we'll be right back after the break. Stay tuned.
I like it. Nice one, Keith.
Oh, just here. Okay. Yep. Hi. My name's James. I'm here to read for the advert today.
Okay, Kuntam, speak like cowboy into microphone, please. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Okay.
Welcome to Big Phil's No Steak Raw Steak Steakhouse. We have the most succulent meats tailored specifically for you. Juicy tendony tendies with all the veins left in. That's some animal levels of savagery. Raw meat, raw heat, oh, beat your meat, it's a treat, but not for you.
I'm sorry, what?
It's the wild, wild west of spicy fling wings and wide drumsticks. Come tackle our meats cooked by some pro chefs. Everybody here gets to be a free meal.
Even you, James. What was that?
And just now we have special enthralling deal for rest of you. Buy one meal, get yourself a meal
free. Or buy 2 meals and get yourself and your family in meal for free. It's so good, you'll never want to leave. And you never will.
So come down to Uncle Phil's house. Steakhouse. No steakhouse today for all your bloody meaty needs.
Okay, James, very good job. Yes, get him, boys, get him now.
What?
Oh, how many burgers could we make out of you, Kundam? Very nice.
My name's not Kundam.
Oh, Kundam, how big you are. Yes, very red. Oh.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final second half for this season of the post-match report. I don't know about any of you, but I am loving this game so far. And the second half has had its fair share of surprises, starting with an insane blast from the Wizard, which ended up taking out the Bastille for good.
Yes, in a shocking twist, the mighty Bastille has sadly fallen. It seems no matter how much they packed that thing with snotlings, or how many pots and pans they strapped to the outside of it, it's still not impervious to wizards.
Yes, and sadly this means that the members of our favorite pompous pump wagon sadly perished. We here at the studio believe we should pay tribute to those who fell behind the wheel of the greatest wagon to grace the Astro Granite, and we'll be cutting live to their funeral proceedings right now for you.
Message of love from the Queen.
Truly, they were gone too soon. They were regarded like royalty around these parts.
The final seems to claim one every single year. I myself have splashed on an extra dose of pitch by Jean-Paul Snotier for those that fell behind the wheel. That casualty really set the tone for the half, it seems, with the Vampires eventually scoring a touchdown and bringing the game to 2-1, taking home the victory and becoming the new league champions. I believe we actually have a clip of the manager's reaction to that final winning touchdown here for you now.
Yay! Yay!
Well, at the very least, it appears from the replays that more and more fans turned up to watch the second half, supporting their home teams and making sure that this is an atmospheric final.
Actually, Mick, the stands weren't filled with crowd members, but rather they were players that had just been KO'd or worse. It seemed that they were running out of space in the dugouts and had to just lay some of the bodies, players out into the stands.
Good eyes, Keith. To be honest, that makes me feel a little bit better, as at some points questionable movements from the crowd had me thinking an orgy was about to erupt. I didn't even have my butter on me, so no joining in for Big Prick Mick.
Huh? Is that really your nickname, Mick?
No, Keith, I just wanted you to think I was cool. My therapist says I should stop using hyperbole in reference to myself, as it destroys my sense of self-worth. I did really forget my butter, though.
Mick, you really shouldn't think like that. I've always thought you were cool. I mean, come on, you're Mick Brickenet, broadcasting legend. It was you who inspired me to become a newscaster in the first place. You were the man who showed the world Blood Bowl and how it could bring people together in brutal, bloody fashion. The man who built a broadcasting empire from nothing but his sheer force of will and a small loan of 1 million gold coins. You've never had to prove you were cool to anyone, Mick. You are and always have been the coolest, and never forget that.
Thank you, Keith. That genuinely means a lot. I know that I've been extremely hard on you throughout this league, and that wasn't fair of me. What I've learned through my therapy is that a lot of the vile hatred that I felt for you was just an expression of my own self-hatred, and it was never fair of me to push that onto you. You're a great newscaster, Keith, and, dare I say it, a good friend.
That really means a lot. That really means a lot, Mick. Oh, sorry. It looks like the league has finally come to a close with a victory for the Big Princes FC, so congratulations to them. They were one of the favourites to win this league. I mean, they brought in some experienced players, but that doesn't mean they haven't fought to get to where they are. Each and every game, they brought their own unique style of play. Some games, they had to fight a little bit harder than others, but in the end, they came out on top and delivered us an entertaining game every time.
I couldn't have put it better myself, Keith. At this rate, you may be the one to finally replace me as head anchor. I see your career like a truck, heading full speed with no sign of stopping. And honestly, Keith, I cannot wait to see where it takes us next season.
I can't wait for it either, Mick. I guess, well, from all of us here in the post-match report team, it's a good night and Nuffle bless. Join us next year for another fantastic season of Blood Bowl. We'll see you then. How was that, Mick?
That was great, Keith. Really great.
Hello and good evening. This is Lustry News, Joyce Brittleskank, bringing you a flash update. The pro Blood Bowl leaguecaster, Keith Toswittle, has been found dead at the side of a motorway. His body was nearly unidentifiable, except for a company name tag and a signed copy of Mick Brickenet's autobiography. Mr. Toswittle leaves behind a wife and 2 children, and was described as a loving, yet very pathetic father. We now go live to an interview with Mr. Toswittle's co-worker, Mick Brickenet, conducted by Lustry News sports reporter Nigel Mananahan, with the latest.
Thank you, Joyce. Yes, we have veteran Blood Bowl caster Mick Brickenet here with us now. Mr. Brickenet, what was your first reaction to the news?
I was in shock, honestly. I was in the middle of packing for my unplanned holiday to Acapulco when the news hit me. It was insane, really. A real tragedy for all those who knew and loved Keith.
Have you had any contact with Mr. Toswittle's family since the tragedy?
Well, yes, of course. As soon as I got the news, I had to give Harriet a call, his wife, to make sure that she was okay, and she was just inconsolable. It was difficult to listen to her, so I just kind of put the phone down and left her to it.
I see. Forgive me for saying, Mr. Brickenet, but you seem relatively unfazed by this recent tragedy.
Well, I find that rather insulting, honestly. I've seen a lot of death and destruction in my time as a newscaster, so do not mistake my silence for lack of grief, boy. I am emotionally distraught by this news.
Uh-huh.
Look, I think it's important that Keith be remembered for his dedication to the sports journalism world, and actually on that note, I would like to say now that I will be erecting a monument of myself in memory of Keith, so that anyone driving down the M62 will remember his legacy as a sportscaster.
I see. Well, I do find it slightly puzzling that you mentioned the M62 quite specifically there, which just so happens to be the area of the accident that caused Mr. Toswittle to lose his life. So I'm interested to learn of how you came about this knowledge, despite the fact that it has not been released yet to the public by us or by the police.
Sorry, what was that?
In fact, I'm just being told that we actually have a picture taken of Mr. Toswittle in his final moments, seconds before his death. Oh, actually, I'm being told that the image is being altered to reveal its true size and resolution. Mr. Brickenet. Hello? Hello, Mr. Brickenet. Can you hear me? Are you there? Hello, Mr. Brickenet. Can you hear me? You still there? Hello? Hello? Hello?